it's controlled by what metal you feed into the top port. The electrolyte solution that you pour into the cell, and the Dapper filter at the outlet port. And by shaping out the types of metal that you for this one is I'm going to melt up silver-plated silverware. I'm going to throw some extra pure copper in there to get the copper content up a little bit. You also can take any of your old anodes that may still have a little bit of silver on them and put those in the crucible too. Melt those down and get some of that silver back. And you can melt household electronics. Now to that, I'm going to add about 100 grams of borax. So seeing as how it can cost you between $5 and $10 in gas to melt all of this metal, you might as well make your anodes worth your while. So I'm going to put some gold-plated items. A piece of jewelry, 14K, that I struggle always getting those tiny little, they're not diamonds, they're fake diamonds, and those will just get caught up in the borax. But this is 2.7 grams of 14K, so there should be over a gram of gold now in this melt. Put that in there as well. Figure as long as we're going through all this effort, keeping track, I'm going to put some gold in there and make it worth my time. still using in my original cells here. All of the ones now that I sell online are hardwood red oak, but for this experiment, I'm testing a new solid oak collar. And the reason for this is twofold, actually. Number one, it secures in place the aspirator bottle more firmly. With this attachment, when I would take the bottle out, I mean, it does attach very firm, it does hold the bottle well, but it would drop down and sit and wobble, and I couldn't use it as a way to kind of handle the whole system. This is more secure. This collar is it covers 2/3 of the opening, so it allows for evaporation, which is still an important part of this system. One of the main reasons I built the system was it's a way to deal with your solutions. The silver nitrate that's used in the silver cell, when it's completely saturated with other base metals, we take that solution out, pour in sulfuric acid, which liberates your nitric acid so you can distill that back. Turns the solution then into copper sulfate, which is used in the copper cells. So the silver cells, basically, your leftover material feeds the copper cell. In the copper cells, we can pull out those base metals and get our sulfuric acid back to run back in the silver cell. So back to the test that I wanted here. I'm going to use copper sulfate that I've re-purified back out of the system as my electrolyte. I'm going to XRF this anode bar so we can see exactly what's in it, and we're going to run it through the system. I'm not sure exactly how long it'll take, so I might make a couple of videos and just update you guys on the progress of what's happening with this stuff. I poured 6 different bars in that melt and tested them all in the XRF. They were all relatively the same composition, and the winner is number 2. About 88% copper, 4.5% nickel, about 4% zinc, so equal parts nickel and zinc. Then we've got 2.15% silver, and a little iron and manganese, maybe a spring got mixed into the melt. So there should be about 1.2 grams of gold somewhere in these anode bars. But it's such a small amount of gold that it didn't show up on the XRF, which is something I really like about refining this older silver-plated items. I usually find gold in quite a bit of it. Now it's trace amounts of gold, but over a long run it does add up. Here's the last bit of gold I collected from the last anode bar. Remember that everything you melt into your anode bar does come out. Now let's go over the electrolyte solution that we use inside of the cells. The electrolyte that I use in silver cells 1 and 2 is silver nitrate solution. I'll put the recipe up on the screen. Dissolve pure silver crystals with dilute nitric acid using distilled water to make your electrolyte. The electrolyte in the copper cells is copper sulfate. This can be purchased as drain cleaner at the hardware store, and after about 3 to 4 months, you can start to make all of your own copper sulfate, and you won't have to buy hardly any. diamond copper cell. Alright, so now we're ready to start our